On the surface, Saitama looks like your average bald guy in a cape, but hidden beneath the goofy exterior is the strongest being in existence. A hero so powerful that most people can't even comprehend what they're seeing. Across the One Punch Man world, only a handful of characters have truly realized the truth about Saitama's strength. Today we're breaking down all 8 of them, in order and explaining how they each discovered the terrifying reality. Genos. Genos, the demon cyborg, is the first person to fully recognize Saitama's strength. That realization hit him during their very first encounter. In the fight against Mosquito Girl, Genos went all out against her, unleashing incineration blasts that leveled entire blocks. The city around them was reduced to rubble, flames rising from every corner. But even with that destructive power, Mosquito Girl shrugged off the damage, regenerating faster than he could burn her. Desperate, and knowing he was outmatched, Genos primed his self-destruct system as a last resort to take her down with him. Then Saitama stepped in. With a single lazy slap, he reduced Mosquito Girl to a red smear on the wall. The fight that had nearly cost Genos his life was over before he had time to process what happened. That was the moment everything changed. From then on, Genos devoted himself to Saitama. He began recording every battle, analyzing his movements, and upgrading his own body again and again. None of it closed the distance. If anything, each upgrade made the gap feel wider. Instead of despairing, Genos turned that realization into purpose. The truth he saw that day became the core of his loyalty. To him, Saitama isn't just a teacher or comrade. He's the embodiment of limitless strength, and Genos has committed himself to following that truth wherever it leads. Speedosound Sonic. Speedosound Sonic is one of the first characters to cross paths with Saitama. Sonic is a professional assassin, infamous for his incredible speed and deadly precision. Against most opponents, his movements are impossible to follow. Against Saitama, they meant nothing. Their first fight on the street ended in complete humiliation. Sonic unleashed his fastest strikes, confident that no hero could keep up, but Saitama dodged without effort. He wasn't straining or calculating. He was casually stepping aside, almost annoyed by the interruption. The fight ended when Saitama tapped him to stop his charge, and Sonic collapsed on the ground in agony, realizing just how outmatched he was. From that moment forward, Sonic became obsessed. He declared Saitama his rival, dedicating himself to training harder and pushing his limits in the hope of one day surpassing him. But beneath the bravado, he understands the truth. He has seen a level of strength and speed that makes his own skills feel meaningless. No amount of denial can erase what he experienced in that first battle. Sonic's perspective is different from others who know Saitama's strength. He isn't a disciple or ally. He's an enemy who can't let go of the humiliation of being so thoroughly defeated. His pride won't allow him to accept it openly, but deep down, he knows exactly where Saitama stands, at a level he can never touch. Boros. Among all of Saitama's opponents, Boros stands out as one of the few who truly grasp the scale of his strength. The leader of the Dark Matter Thieves, Boros was a conqueror who had traveled the galaxy in search of a worthy opponent. His regeneration, immense energy, and overwhelming physical power made him unlike anything the Hero Association had ever faced. To him, most battles were meaningless. He crushed worlds with ease. That arrogance vanished the moment he fought Saitama. From the start, Boros sensed that this was the opponent he had been searching for. His blows, which shattered landscapes, barely moved Saitama. His ultimate technique, the collapsing star roaring cannon, was designed to obliterate the Earth itself. Saitama canceled it out with a single serious punch, tearing through Boros' strongest attack as if it were nothing. What makes Boros unique is that he understood Saitama's strength as both an enemy and an equal in spirit. He recognized, perhaps more clearly than anyone else, that Saitama wasn't even fighting seriously. For Boros, that realization was both satisfying and devastating. After a lifetime of searching, he finally found the strongest warrior in the universe. But that warrior was so far beyond him that victory was impossible. In those moments, Boros understood exactly who he was up against. He realized Saitama wasn't just stronger than him. He was on a level that Boros couldn't reach, no matter what. He had finally found the strongest opponent in the universe, and it wasn't even a fair fight. King. King is one of the few people who has directly witnessed Saitama's power, mostly because Saitama keeps saving his life. Every time a monster corners King, Saitama appears and destroys it in an instant. What would have been a gruesome death for King always ends with a single casual punch from Saitama. King has seen this pattern enough times to know it isn't luck or coincidence. At first, King was terrified that Saitama would expose his secret, that he had no powers at all, and that the Hero Association had been giving him credit for battles he never fought. But when they finally spoke openly, Saitama didn't care about the false reputation. That honesty allowed King to piece it all together. The monsters the world thought he defeated had all fallen to Saitama. Unlike the public, who still treat him as the strongest hero, King doesn't fool himself anymore. He knows exactly why he's alive and why his reputation exists, because Saitama is the real strongest. And even if he's powerless, he respects that truth more than anyone else. Bang, Silverfang. Bang, known as Silverfang, is a martial arts master who has spent decades studying the limits of human strength. That experience gives him a perspective few others share. When he sees Saitama fight, it's immediately clear that something doesn't add up. Saitama's form is sloppy, his movements lack refinement, but the results are absolute. Bang first notices this during the battle with the Deep Sea King. Genos throws everything he has at the monster and still fails. Moomin Rider fights with unmatched courage but is crushed in seconds. Then Saitama arrives, throws a single punch, and the fight is over. For Bang, that was the moment he realized he was looking at something that couldn't be explained by training or technique. Later, during the Dark Matter Thieves invasion, Bang and the other S-Class heroes struggled against Boros' army. When it was over, every hero was bruised and exhausted, except for Saitama. He returned from Boros' ship without a single injury. Bang didn't need to see the fight to understand what that meant. His instincts as a martial artist told him the truth. Saitama was far beyond even the strongest heroes. Tatsumaki, Tornado of Terror. Tatsumaki, the Tornado of Terror, is one of the most powerful heroes alive. Her psychic powers let her crush enemies and reshape the battlefield, and she's used to winning without question. That's what makes her run-ins with Saitama so striking. During the Monster Association battle, Tatsumaki fought until she was nearly broken. The fight pushed her to her absolute limit, leaving her drained and injured. When the dust settled, she noticed Saitama standing there as if nothing had happened. For someone who prides herself on carrying battles that others can't, seeing him untouched after the same war was impossible to ignore. Later, when she directly clashes with Saitama, she finally tests him herself. She throws her full psychic power at him, tearing up the ground and hurling massive debris with everything she has. Nothing works. Saitama walks through her storm of attacks without even taking her seriously. For Tatsumaki, the realization is personal. She doesn't need anyone to explain it. She's felt it with her own power. The man in front of her is beyond anything she can move, no matter how hard she tries. Blast. Blast is the Hero Association's top-ranked hero, a figure so powerful that even S-Class heroes treat him like a legend. For most of the series, he's more myth than reality, a name spoken with awe but rarely seen. That changes when Blast finally steps onto the stage, and it doesn't take him long to notice that Saitama is different. Unlike the other heroes, Blast has experience dealing with threats that operate on a cosmic scale. He understands how wide the gap is between ordinary strength and the forces that can threaten the planet itself. That's why his brief interactions with Saitama stand out. When they meet, Blast can sense it immediately. The calm, almost indifferent man in front of him isn't bound by the same limits as everyone else. Blast never gets into a full fight with Saitama, but he doesn't need to. His instincts as a veteran hero tell him the truth. While the Hero Association ranks him as number 1, he knows the balance shifts the moment Saitama enters the picture. Blast is one of the only heroes who doesn't underestimate him, because he can see past the lack of recognition and straight into the reality of his strength. Garou. Garou's clash with Saitama is the most direct and personal demonstration of Saitama's power in the entire story. From the beginning, Garou sets himself on a path to become the ultimate monster, evolving rapidly with each battle. He defeats hero after hero, adapting and growing stronger in ways that seem impossible. By the time of his final confrontation with Saitama, Garou has reached a level that terrifies even S-Class heroes. When the fight begins, Garou pushes himself further than ever before, transforming into a being powered by godlike energy. For a moment, it looks as though someone might finally rival Saitama. But as the battle unfolds, the truth becomes clear. Every strike, every technique, every desperate attempt from Garou fails to make a difference. Saitama isn't straining. He isn't desperate. He's simply responding, always in control, always stronger. For Garou, the fight is more than defeat. It's a lesson he experiences in real time. No matter how far he evolves, Saitama is already beyond him. That realization breaks him more deeply than any single punch could.